So it's very simple. What happens is when you spend 2 decades into sports, what you gather is all the memories you have in bits and pieces. So there could have been only one space where you can really collectively collate all the memories. And I just thought of a similar thing, that why can't we try and do something with these cricketers who are not only cricketers, they have been legends of respective countries. I've been working with Chris Gayle since 2009. It has been 15 golden years, because it's not easy to be with Chris Gayle, but then he is a guy of a level when he comes to perform as a professional. 10 sports office at least 6 times in Dubai, and every time I ask the question, how do you think and why would 10 sports, which is a global sports channel, do a cricket event live telecast of Jharkhand, which is such a small, state. So I don't see a reason why we should come and telecast it. And it took me quite some time to convince them.
Namaskar, hello, welcome back to Good Vibe Show. As we celebrate cricket and sports during the T20 World Cup in the USA, today's episode is particularly special. We are delving into the dynamic realm of sports marketing and management, a multi-billion-dollar industry in India that has seen tremendous growth and innovation. From creating fan awareness to building powerful athlete brands, sports marketing is truly an art form, and our guest today is a master of this craft. Joining us is Nishant Dayal, the esteemed director of Elite Sports Management and founder of Mid-Wicket Stories. Based in Bangalore and globally connected, Elite has been a game changer in the sports management and marketing, with curating leagues since its establishment in 2003. With 4 major verticals: player management, sports marketing, brand consultancy, and designing of premier leagues, Elite Sports Management takes a 360-degree approach to sports solutions. Nishant Dayal, with over 2 decades of experience and an MBA from Cardiff, is not only a sports enthusiast but also a visionary leader in the industry. Under his guidance, Elite Sports Management has achieved remarkable milestones, including the first domestic Premier League of the country, Jharkhand Premier League, working very closely with international cricket stars like Chris Gayle, Glenn Maxwell, Dwayne Bravo, and many others. One standout success story from Elite's player management portfolio is that of Saurabh Tiwary, who was contracted with Elite before reaching the under-19 level. Tiwary rose to prominence as a key player in India's under-19 World Cup team, became the top run getter in the Deodhar Trophy on debut, and was named Citibank Player of the Tournament in IPL 2010, eventually becoming an integral member of the Indian cricket team. Elite Sports Management offers constant guidance and support through its professional management group, enabling athletes to perform with a focused mindset. The company's meticulous approach to sports marketing and Instadia branding has led to successful campaigns in iconic stadiums across India and overseas. Elite Sports has worked with renowned brands such as Pepsi, Nike, Reebok, and Reliance Retail, ensuring optimal visibility and brand recognition during live sports events. In addition to his role at Elite Sports, Nishant is the visionary behind Mid-Wicket Stories, a unique platform where cricketing legends share their extraordinary on and off-field experiences. Founded alongside Jaya Prasad, Mid-Wicket Stories aims to enthrall audiences with a mix of entertainment and passion. The initiative recently announced Sunil Gavaskar as the principal advisor, underscoring its prestige and appeal. The first event featured Chris Gayle and Harbhajan Singh was held in Mumbai last year before the World Cup match between India and Sri Lanka. Today, we will explore Nishant's journey, his insights on the evolving landscape of sports marketing, and the exciting future of sports management in India. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming the inspiring and talented Nishant Dayal to the Good Vibe Show. Hi Nishant, welcome to Good Vibe Show.
Thank you. Pleasure to be on your podcast.
Thank you. So let's start from the beginning. When did you start liking sports, especially cricket?
So cricket is basically, it's in blood of every Indian. So was mine. And right from the days of Patna, when we were in school, it's all about early 80s or, late 80s. Cricket was one of the integral part of sports we were very interested in. And eventually, growing up, we grow with the game, and we saw a lot of players coming out of this particular game, and then the interest was to the pinnacle always.
Yeah, I can understand the interest for cricket. Like, we all love cricket. So I wanted to ask what inspired you to enter into something non-traditional, like, sports management. So can you explain to our viewers what is sports management and what it entails?
Yeah. So for me, it was not a choice to come in into sports management. For me, it was more like when you don't have much options in life, because I came from a doctor's family, and people wanted me to become a doctor. Obviously, I did not end up being a doctor, and I did my MBA from UK, and then was going towards a different career altogether. But then the situations were not as good. But then we thought that if I have to do a business, why not to do something in which you like the best? And cricket was one of those lines. It started much back when people with me who used to play a bigger level of cricket, we used to support them, and that became a career on a whole. So that's where we started, and then as my company, Elite Sports Management, which is now over 2 decades now, we have four different verticals we work into. We work into player management, we work into sports marketing, we design and curate the Premier Leagues, and then we also consult the brands in terms of sports marketing. So those are the four verticals we used to work at, and it has been a good journey. Blessings from my parents, and God has been kind.
Amazing. So, Nishant, can you share a little bit about about the early years of elite sports management and who were the cricketers who supported you in your journey?
So, to be very honest, we are very close to Mahendra Singh Dhoni, right from the days he was playing for Ranchi. It has been a long history, more than 25 years now. So Dhoni was one of the inspiration. Plus, when you see someone right from nowhere making it to the team and making and creating a bigger impact into the system, it gives you a different feeling altogether. And that was one of the source of inspiration. And then we started to look for some younger players. We supported those players, and one of my players, one of my biggest example, which I'll talk about him in the later stage of the interview, was really a good example for us, because we groomed them, and then he played for the country. So that is the best gratification you would like to look at when you do such kind of work. So obviously, Dhoni was one of the bigger guys, and then a gentleman who was uh, in my class was Rajiv Kumar from my school. Come from St. Michael's, Patna, and he was a fantastic player from the school days. He played under 16, under 19, Bihar, and all, and then he went up to play for India A. So that was one of the reasons why I'm here in the sports industry.
Amazing. So, can you provide an overview of the services provided by Elite Sports Management and especially to someone who is unfamiliar with these concepts?
So when I entered sports industry in the time I'm talking about, it was not very structured industry. It was an industry wherein people had a few brands. They wanted to come and showcase their brands in one of the stadiums. That used to be the early years of the sports management industry, and which was not structured. So when I came from a MBA from the UK, and then we thought that let's try and do something different in terms of not only branding, but management of players as well. Giving brands the basics of what they can do with branding into sports, and so those two things were primary. So we started with few of the cricketers. We used to handle them. We used to manage them right from what you should do, what you should not. And then one of my example is Saurabh Tiwary. So we got them really early in life, and then we just supported him with all the trainings and all the kinds of different trainings and equipments he can have. And that guy was one of those very strong candidates who could have played for the country. And our support was 20% or 15% or 25%. But then this guy had something in him. He played for India A, he played for under 19 World Cup. He did really well. And then when he went to IPL, IPL auction, he became the blue-eyed boy of Sachin Tendulkar. And eventually, in one of the IPL auction, he was picked for a value of 7.22 crores. If I convert into that value in dollars, it was 1.6 million, for 1 year. And then he was signed for 3 years. So that completely changed the his dynamics. And then he played for country. And eventually, he's the only person who played two matches, one against New Zealand and one against Australia, and he was unbeaten. So and then obviously he didn't get a chance after that because then we were focusing into the 2011 World Cup. So that's all about the larger part of the journey with the players we manage. And if you talk about the brands, we had earlier a few of the brands which we guided them that if you are going to uh, brand yourself in a live tournament, live match, you can get some insane branding in the country. And cricket is eventually so followed game that you get enough eyeball visibility in terms of brand being visible across.
Great. So, Nishant, how has the sports marketing landscape evolved in India since you started Elite Sports Management in 2003?
Well, it's a very interesting. When we started, it was not one of the biggest thing, but we were very lucky to see something like IPL happening, and IPL one of the biggest money churners in the entire world. If you talk about cricket, and that has changed the complete cricketing diaspora of the country. So we could see larger brands, the biggest brands of the country, supporting the game, which becomes much more better for all these people who want to come and do the branding into cricket. It becomes a bigger sign, and we saw brands like Airtel who supported differently, Vodafone, Citibank, DLF, all these brands were one of the biggest brands in India. And then when they started to support, the entire cricketing thing went different. Now we have to know one small history into cricket is that when cricket started, BCCI did not had an idea what kind of money can you really earn from TV rights until South Africa came down and gave some insane offer to BCCI. And today, as we said, BCCI is not only the richest body of the world in terms of the cricket boards, but IPL as one of the Premier League properties is comes into top five properties across the world across sports, so which is big in the country.
Wow, that's great to know. So, now let's talk about Mid-Wicket Stories. What was the vision behind creating Mid-Wicket Stories? It's such a unique platform where all legendary cricketers come and share their stories. So, how did you get this idea?
So it's very simple. What happens is when you spend 2 decades into sports, what you gather is all the memories you have in bits and pieces. So there could have been only one space where you can really collectively collate all the memories. And I just thought of a similar thing that why can't we try and do something with these cricketers who are not only cricketers, they have been legends of respective countries.
Yeah.
So we thought, okay, when they talk about their journeys, their in on and off field stories, and something unique what happened. Like for example, Sunil Gavaskar has never worn a helmet, and it is content for life. It cannot be changed. So something like that has been one of the key factors and key thoughts. And honestly, when we tried the first edition of Mid-Wicket Stories with my co-founder Jaya Prashad, we were just talking that let's try and create this and let's see how are we going to go ahead. And to all our surprises, the first one which we did in November 2022, in between the World Cup in Australia, with two of the legends of the respective countries, Sunil Gavaskar and Alan Border, it was an out of the world conversation.
Wow.
People attended, had experience of their life. So it's all about you. You give experience to people who come and watch. You become up close to the legends you are really fan of, and then you get a content which can be played across channels, and you get the best out of it. So that was the basic vision of this.
Wow, this is so interesting, and I'm sure any cricket fan would love it. So, I want to ask about now Sunil Gavaskar because he is the principal advisor in Mid-Wicket Stories. So, how did this collaboration happen? And curious to know about his role.
Yeah. So it's very interesting. Good you asked me this question because when we did the first one, Sunil Gavaskar and Aaron Border, the second one obviously we did with Sunil Gavaskar and Vivian Richards because both are the best of the cricketers of their respective countries. So after we did the first two, we were supposed to do the third one between Chris Gayle and Harbhajan Singh. So we spoke to Sunny sir and we offered that we started with you, and you being the opening batsman all your life, you have also opened for Mid-Wicket Stories. So
Wow.
why not, why not come on board and support us and just look at what we do, because we do everything in the field of cricket, and we are talking about someone who is a legend, who has been a legend for 5 decades. As me and you talk, it is 53 years ago he scored 774 run in West Indies, and if I correctly remember, there was an instance with a conversation between Viv Richards and Sunil Gavaskar, where Viv Richards says that he looks at Sunil Gavaskar as godfather of Indian batsmanship, which is a big statement. And
Yes.
then he also talks about the story that a guy of 5 feet 5 inch comes to West Indies in 1974. People thought, my bowlers are 7 feet, you know. And Sunil Gavaskar was so handsomely playing with all these bowlers and scored a 774 with 400s, and it became a record for life. So obviously, the biggest legend comes to us as a blessing, and as a principal advisor is a great inspiration to us and a great motivation in the coming days.
Amazing. And I must say, your memory related to cricket is amazing. You are sharing some amazing facts about the cricketers. So, what has been the reaction of people to the Mid-Wicket Stories events so far? And can we anticipate one happening in the US?
Well, you are right. At one point of time, we thought that we will be doing one during the World Cup, and we planned it with two of the legends. But
Mhm.
unfortunately, because the timing did not really suit well, because we wanted to do before the India-Pakistan match. But eventually, there is a conversation happening in US in New York on the 8th of June between Sunil Gavaskar and Zahir Abbas. Again, two great guys of two different countries. So first, let me take you to the basic ideas of Mid-Wicket Stories, which was hugely welcomed by all the corporates in the country, because it becomes one of those experiences people cannot buy. It's a priceless experience, and we have got brands like HDFC Bank, HDFC Life, and IDFC Bank. They have offered us a long-term partnership for this, because for their clients it's going to be a priceless experience. And as the journey starts, we started with Australia. We did the second one in Dubai, the third one in Mumbai, and fourth in Bangalore. So the last one we did in Bangalore had 200 people.
Wow.
And we had a gentleman called Mr. Narayan Murthy from Infosys. He was there 2 hours, and it doesn't go anywhere. So touch wood, and God has been kind. We are growing at a good pace, and hopefully looking to do the best out of what we can.
Amazing. So, Nishant, since your organization manages such big, high-profile cricketers like Chris Gayle and Dwayne Bravo, then how was the experience managing these cricketers?
Well, I've been working with Chris Gayle since 2009. It has been 15 golden years, because it's not easy to be with Chris Gayle, but then he is a guy of a level. When he comes to perform as a professional, he is at a different level. Whatever brands we have signed with Chris, every brand has come to us, and they have expressed their you know biggest gratitude that we didn't thought that it's going to be so big, but then Chris Gayle is such a fantastic person. Same with Dwayne Bravo. Dwayne Bravo is a guy who loves song, who loves dance, and then the West Indian cricketers have got a characteristic of giving 100% of whatever they do. So, and I have been over the last 2 decades, I have been very specific into focusing myself with all these foreign cricketers, because one, it makes life easier for me because they're very professional. Or
Mm.
Indian cricketers are really big, you know. So we I would prefer working with the foreign cricketers, and they are nice. They're good guys. They know what they have to do, and they're very professional when it comes to delivering it to the brand. So it makes sense. So also, if I don't miss, let me also add a point in elite sports. What we planned is we did India's first domestic Premier League. That was Jharkhand Premier League, which was live on 10 sports. So that is one of the biggest things we have done. So our experience of curating and designing cricket leagues have been one of the centric points. So we also league concept was very welcomed in SLPL, Bangladesh Premier League, and Indian Badminton League and Bihar Cricket League we did. So league is one of the major things we are very excited about, because this gives a chance to the small players who live in very small cities, and then they are when they play in the league, they are shown on various countries, because we normally engage all the global sports channel, and we air it to at least good number of countries, so they get the experience of being seen in different countries. So these guys do fantastically well, and someone who performs once they are live on the TV, it goes to a different level. So cricket league is one of the things I wanted to mention to you, what elite does.
So interesting. And I was about to ask about the Jharkhand Premier League because I know Elite Sports was instrumental in creating this. So, how did you go about setting this up, and what were the challenges and some successes in this project?
Yeah, I would not miss to mention a gentleman's name, Amitabh Chaudhary,
Hmm.
who was the president of Jharkhand State Cricket Association, and he was also the secretary of BCCI and the director of ICC. And eventually, he also comes from my schools in Michael's Patna, and we're really proud of him. Unfortunately, we lost him in 2022 August, and he was one of those inspirations, and he was those one of those powers who came to us saying that you have created a fantastic concept, and we'll help you to actually do it in here. And then I went to 10 sports office at least 6 times in Dubai, and every time I asked the question, how do you think and why would 10 sports, which is a global sports channel, do a cricket event live telecast of Jharkhand, which is such a small state. So I don't see a reason why we should come and telecast it. And it took me quite some time to convince them that it does make big sense that we should come and telecast it, because we did the Jharkhand Premier League in between the World Cup of 2011. And to the fact of matter is, we had 5 of the cricketers who made it to the big journey. Saurabh Tiwary, Varun Aaron, Shabaz Nadeem, Yajuvendra Krishnatri, and SP Gautam. So 5 of the cricketers went to the India Challenges Trophy team, which was big gratification for any league. So and this was the first league, as I say. So first league, and you get such good gratifications, which is again a blessing.
Yeah. So since you talked about COVID-19, I wanted to ask about, that time because COVID-19 pandemic was not only disastrous for human lives, but also impacted very badly, to live events like concerts and sports. So how your company handled, and navigated those challenges?
It's a very interesting question. And to be very honest, I have actually learned a lot in COVID. It gave us such a learning experience, not because cricket was not happening, not because, like all the companies, even our company, we lost a lot of monies in terms of numbers, but that's fine. The best thing I could even remember with COVID is you can look into 10 different things you could not have done in your life. You could introspect what you can do. You could take time out of what you're worth of. I could see a lot of creative things which I had in myself, which I would not have got the time to do it. So I look at COVID's break as one of the most positive break. you know and then obviously for 2.5 3 years the sports industry was into deep trouble. uh, Cricket was just happening for the heck of it, empty stadiums and all those things. But then it picked up, and now obviously, if we talk about cricket currently, it has taken at least 200% of what was before COVID. So it has taken up, it has come back really, really strong, and I think that COVID was a positive thing because people who were running just here and there, they're now running on a defined path. That's it.
Yeah, a lot of learning for everyone in every field. Okay. So, Nishant, while preparing for this podcast, I read about something interesting called Instadia marketing. So, can you explain me and to our viewers what it is and how it helps your clients?
Now, when you watch a cricket match, you would see that there are a lot of brands being displayed across. So in Stadia is when you see the brands on the boundary board, which in a normal language across the world people talk about as billboard. So
Yeah.
there are perimeter board across the boundary board. So when a batsman hits a ball which goes towards a boundary, it would hit that boundary perimeter board. It's called a boundary perimeter board. So that boundary perimeter board in there is actually uh, it will just show the brand which is displayed there. So I have been doing this since last 2 decades in various stadiums. If we look at, we have done work in more than 15-20 stadiums across the globe, and it's very interesting because as I just told earlier, that this is one thing which can give you a pan India experience in the least of the time. Because cricket is one of the most followed game in the country. And when a brand is there on the perimeter board, on the side screen, on the mat, people watching it, it gives you a quick recall value of the brand. So that's what Instadia is: the branding across the perimeter board, across the boundary board, at the side screen, behind the batsman, and at the giant screen area and the mat, pitch mat, where the wicket is.
Okay, great. Thank you for explaining this, Nishant. Very insightful. So, now coming back to sports marketing, how do you use technology and social media in sports marketing?
So it's very different now. Now, entire thing has changed into digital. The digital world has become very receptive of the brand's policies. And now, if people want to spend, say, X money, if a brand want to spend X money into branding into sports, they will rather look at spending into Instagram. Which makes sense. So obviously now the split of spending has been across digital. Technology has taken up a different level in terms of Instadia branding also, because now the pitch mat, you can see a lot of brands. When you see the cricket, you can see on the grass few of the brands there. Now
Yeah.
those brands are physically not there on the ground. It is imposed from the technology through the TV, and the camera has got a role. So those are the very intrinsic things. They can still be shown on the pitch mat, but they're all virtual mats. It is not matched exactly on the. So obviously the technology has gone to a different level altogether. Now the perimeter board from the normal flex branding has changed into a LED board. You can have six of the balls that can have 24 brands. That's the way it is, and it's very fast moving. It's very fast moving. Yeah.
Wow, these are some amazing facts that I didn't know. I used to think that, these ads are done on the grass. I didn't know it was like the technology effect.
Yes. It is imposed. Yeah, imposed from the screen.
Amazing. Okay, so moving to the T20 World Cup event happening here in US, how do you think this mega event will influence cricket as a sport here?
Okay, right. So it is not going to be something which we are going to look at overnight. it won't change overnight. It's one of those very intrinsic and interesting first step. And what we look at on a larger picture is that yes, we are launching into United States, and cricket is a sport which is played towards the other side of the world. It does has got a value. It has got countries like India and Pakistan who are playing on 9th of June in New York,
Yeah.
and across the world people look at to watch those matches. So it's a very serious game. Let's give chance to these people. But then before this league, we used to have India and West Indies playing two of the T20 games since last 8 years in Fort Lauderdale. And that gave, a tinker experience that, people are crazy about it, because all the games between India and West Indies over 6 years now, 8 years now, has been house full, and
Mm-hmm.
people buy watch those games. Then there was a league launched called Major League Cricket, MLC. So MLC was played in Dallas, and MLC had a very good effect. People loved it. People and across the world, all these players joined in. So all these things collectively give you a chance that cricket is on the right track in the US. It will take some time, but rest assured, in the few years, we are going to talk on cricket in US, and which is not very far.
Yeah, I hope that day comes soon. And I'm also very excited and looking forward to the India Pakistan match here.
It must. It must. I'm telling you, the atmosphere on the ground is going to be classy.
Yeah,
Classy.
so looking
I
forward.
I have attended, to be very honest, I think all the games of India Pakistan across the world
Wow.
played in the World Cup. All the World Cup games between India and Pakistan. If I might have missed in the start, but post 2003, yes, all the games. So it's a
That's a
feat.
mind-blowing fact. Amazing. Okay. So I know you have been following cricket for over decades, Nishant. So any predictions about this sport?
Well, this sport has already it's already reached a different level of pinnacle,
Mm.
and obviously touch wood and give all the points to IPL, because IPL has not only been one of the biggest money churners of the game, but also it has been the ambassador of the game across the countries, and the world talks about it. All the players who get 20 times, 30 times, 100 times money more than what they get in their own countries. So they rather want to come and play cricket in India rather than anywhere else. People like David Warner, people like Travis Head, people like Chris Gayle, people like A.B. de Villiers, people like Kevin Peterson, they have all been on such a high value, they would have never got in their own country. So we are very happy about it. Cricket is growing to a very strong lateral level.
Okay, yes. So, Nishant, moving to a topic that is close to my heart, which is giving back to the community. So, I know you have been associated with many community initiatives. So, would you like to share about any of these?
So, as I told you that I was always very close to my father. He was a doctor. I lost him in 2003. It's been a long back. So I decided to start up a foundation in 2006. And since then, it has been 18 years now. We have been running a foundation. We do child heart operation. There's a hole in the heart. So there's an operation called congenital heart disease. So we do operations of child heart operation. We have got orphanage with 59 kids. We do swing machines to the widows. We do cricket kits to the cricketers who cannot afford such and such cricket kits, and we do regular bhandaras. What we do in India in terms of what we do in terms of food and all, but largely we are into heart operation is one of the things closest to my heart, because a lot of child in the villages, for example, the son or the daughter of the panwalas and the rishawalas,
Mhm.
farmers. If their child cannot breathe properly, they think that it's asthmatic, so they will give some medicine. But actually, it turns out to be congenital heart disease, the hole in the heart, and it is a little expensive operation. But if you are able to do it before the age of 5, the child can live his normal life. So we are actually spending more time, more energy to identify the disease. We have got a set of few of the doctors, and we are investing more into the identification part of it. That is one area. And then on my mother's thing, I do sewing machines. So last year, as a number, we have distributed more than 1,500 sewing machines. So the idea is, if a widow gets a sewing machine, and if she, do some repair work or whatever, she can earn 5,000, which is much more and okay to live their livelihood in small cities. So that was the idea. We try to do whatever we can.
Wow, those are some incredible initiatives. Great that you are helping so many people. So, lastly, Nishant, anybody who is listening to our conversation and they are interested in entering into sports management, then how can they get started?
So let me tell you honestly, it's not about passion which can help you. It needs a lot of precision. It needs a lot of. So I will always use a word called innovative, creative. If you're not innovative, if you cannot do something out of the world, you have to actually prove the world that you don't only think out of the box, but you can curate something which people would love to look at. So if you have got a zeal of doing it, you must look into it. Uh, in my life, what I have done is I have always looked into creating some new things. Most of the times you are successful, most of the times you are not, but that should not pull you back. I started something called Global Sports Injury Conclave. No one spoke about sports injury. We were the only one who did it. And then we had people like Jonty Roth, Sunil Shetty, Amitabh Chaudhary involved in that, and people like the father of sports and the trainers. No, we call it physios, trainers, and doctors, the orthopedic doctors. So it's all about a small cricketers who's having a niggle in the knee, maybe a fatal if they're not treated early stage. So that was the learning of Global Sports Injury Conclave. Then we created a lot of things during the pandemic. As we spoke about pandemic, what you can do. We created with GSIC, we did at least 30 webinars. So all these biggest people of the sports arena, like John T. Rhodes, Praveen Amre, Chetan Sharma, they used to come and talk about how to live during the pandemic. How do you come back and rehabilitate yourself to come on the field? So those were the initiatives we took during the pandemic as well. So again, the thing is, if you're able to think out of the box, if you're able to think something which can really give back to the society, or you can be innovative and creative to the ideas. Sports is one area which always welcomes you. Just make it big, depends upon what do you want to do. If you want to just have it on a different level, the platter is ready, just go and fetch it. That's it.
Amazing. Great message. Thank you so much, Nishant, for coming to the show and sharing the insights. And also, thank you for answering my questions so patiently.
No, no, you're fantastic. You have done a bit of good research. I'm very happy about it. So that's fine. That's all the people. Yeah, I want all the Indian Americans that they should just come down and support India in the India-Pakistan game. It's going to be an amazing game. It's just over a week now. I'm looking forward to the rest of the game in the US.
Awesome. And we are looking forward to it too. Can't wait. Too excited.
Yeah.
Thank you once again.
Thanks. You are fantastic, and all the best to Good Vibes. Take care.
Thank you so much. We hope today's conversation has given you a deeper appreciation of the art of sports marketing and the immense potential it holds. As we continue to celebrate the T20 World Cup in the USA, let's remember the passion, hard work, and innovation that drive this incredible industry. Thank you for tuning into the Good Vibe Show. Stay inspired, stay passionate, and keep celebrating the spirit of sports. Until next time, keep those good vibes flowing.